Now, Avi Hyman, Israeli government spokesman, thank you for your time at this critical juncture in this war. Now, 100 days more than 100 days since Hamas attacked and took so many innocent hostages. What are you able to add about the latest approach on the ground in Gaza and what is being described as a long phase ahead?
Marni, thank you very much for having me on. 102 days since Hamas invaded our borders, butchering our people, killing children in front of their parents and parents in front of their children, beheading and raping their way through southern Israel. The latest on the ground in Gaza is that the IDF has managed to greatly dismantle Hamas's capabilities in the north of Gaza. And thus we've been able to bring back some of our troops as reported. And we will continue to move down south to take care of the Hamas threat there. Again, our mission from day one hasn't changed: to destroy Hamas and to bring every one of the hostages home. And that number is currently 136 hostages languishing in Hamas custody in Gaza.
We think about them every single day and the nightmare their families are living and the hostages themselves. I'm curious, with the withdrawal of some of these troops and the focus on the south, does that mean some of the civilians, the Palestinians in Gaza, can move back to the north where they had evacuated? How do you expect that to shift?
So that's an ongoing situation. I mean, the latest that I've heard on that is that it's still not safe. There's a lot of work needs to be done on that front, and we can't guarantee safety. And until that time, I think they'll have to remain in the south. But we continue to plow forward, focusing on Hamas. Our fight is with Hamas, not the people of Gaza, and we will continue to pinpoint Hamas and limit civilian casualties by creating those safer zones to the best of our ability.
Avi, is there anything more you can share about the investigation into that deadly car ramming attack that we saw in recent days?
Awful attack yesterday in the leafy suburb of Ra'anana, just north of Tel Aviv. Two terrorists from the Hebron area started stealing cars, ramming them into people, stealing other cars, ramming them into people, stabbing people repeatedly. We saw a 79-year-old woman killed, multiple casualties, 17 injured, a number of them still in hospital, including a teenager who had to undergo serious head surgery. So, I mean, this just shows the face of Hamas, the face of Hamas's incitement. When they say they want to kill Jews, they want to kill Jews indiscriminately. And while we focus our war on Hamas, on their military capabilities, they focus indiscriminately on men, women, and civilians, the elderly, children. They don't care.
In light of this latest tragic attack on civilians in Israel, is the government and the military recalculating the approach at the border and how people are able to come and go into Israel?
So these attackers came from Hebron, came from the West Bank, Judea and Samaria. We understand that they actually entered illegally. But, the security situation continues in such a way that we need to keep terrorists at bay in the West Bank, in the north, in the south. We're essentially fighting in multiple arenas, and we will continue to do that. We have the ability to do that. We've historically achieved that, and the IDF will do its utmost to secure Israel. But once in a while, these terrorists manage to push through and remind us just what they want to do, which is in their charter. They seek the genocide of the Jewish people, both in Israel and around the world.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.